Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Mezco 112 Collective Red Hood. This is a Mezco exclusive. That's where I ordered it, so let's take a look at the packaging. And as you can see, Red Hood, and we have the Batman logo between the two O's. Mezco exclusive, 112 Collective Pose Play Display, DC. Here's the front, we have Red Hood and a signature helmet. One side, Red Hood sort of Batman logo. Other side, Red Hood. At the back, here he is, Mezco Toys. And at the bottom, there's the barcode if it helps. So with no further ado, let's open them up. And I did get two of these Red Hood figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Alright, now that I got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out, and he comes with tons and tons of stuff. We have a display stand, a baggie for your accessories, 10 interchangeable hands, 2 interchangeable heads, 2 pistols, 2 crowbars, a knife, 3 blast effects, and a large rifle. Before we load all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is the Red Hood. Most of you know the story. Jason Todd was the second Robin after Dick Grayson left and became Nightwing. He eventually was killed by the Joker, one of Batman's greatest tragedies. He was brought back to life, and he came back as Red Hood. He started off as sort of a villain, and now he's a member of the Bat family, and ally under Batman, and has rejoined the team. He does use lethal combat, guns, bullets, which is not what a traditional Batman character would do. He's got his sort of biker outfit, helmet, leather jacket. Let's take a closer look. This has been a long time coming. I've wanted a Mezco Red Hood for a while now. And it looks pretty good. Metallic paint job. Very shiny. It's got some sculpting in his brow. The sun lines on the side here. The eyes are white. His leather jacket, collar popped up. It's coming in a little bit more than I'd like. I'm sure I can fix it over time and kind of have it be like that. Sleeves rolled up. Looks good. Jacket looks excellent. Good material. We have this sort of armored chest piece here. Batman symbol. He's officially part of the Batman team at this point. The armor looks great. Then we have his belt. 2 holsters for his pistols. Tons of gear all across his belt. Black pants. Boots with straps on the sides. Knee pads. Looks pretty good. It's pretty much exactly what I want for my Mezco Red Hood. And a closer look at his helmet, face, and head sculpt, which I think looks good. Not only the sculpt, but the paint job. I like that it made it metallic. I would have it no other way with this guy. And then, here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. And you probably can remove the jacket. I kind of started to, but it was difficult, and to tell the truth, I really don't want to, so I'm not going to. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. We get this baggie here. It's basically a Ziploc bag. It says Mezco 112 Collective, and it's actually useful because he comes with so much stuff. Then we have his display stand. It comes with 2 separate pieces. One put together, it looks like this. At the bottom, we have this black circle with the red Batman symbol, Red Hood's logo. Then we have this post. At the bottom, it can rotate. It's hinged. Hinge in the middle. Hinge at the top. It has rotation at the top. And a little clamp to hold your figure. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 10 hands. 5 left hands and 5 right hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his second pair of hands. These are a pair of gripping hands. And his third pair of hands. These are a pair of gripping hands with trigger fingers for his guns. Here's his next set of hands. These are some semi-open hands. Look like they could be some grabbing hands. And his last pair of hands. These are a pair of default hands. They would look good relaxed at his sides. Now let's look at his heads. He has 2 of them. One with a Red Hood helmet and one damaged, exposing Jason Todd's face. Here he is with his first head. This is the way that most people will probably display the figure. And here's his second head. This one's damaged. You can see Jason Todd's face, and he looks pissed. His head looks really, really cool. Now let's look at his crowbars and knife. Now, the Joker used a crowbar to beat Jason Todd almost to death before he blew him up at the bomb. And there have been a lot of stories where Red Hood in turn has beaten the Joker with a crowbar. Pretty good looking crowbar. It's black, but it has some sort of withering. I like it. You can see the fork at the top. Then we have his knife. It's got this sort of twisted, jagged blade. Looks pretty cool. I do remember using something like this and under the Red Hood. Here's Red Hood holding onto that crowbar, and then holding onto his knife. Now let's look at his guns. He has a large rifle and 2 pistols. Each one comes with 2 clips for each gun. So, very large, oversized rifle, and it kind of reminds me of the Arkham Knight rifle in some ways. You can see him sniping from the rooftop. You can take the clip out, you can see the bullet top, and you actually have the second one there. The detailing is pretty nice. Silver, shiny paint job, but it's not all silver. Then we have these pistols. They have a little bit of red paint on them. The sculpt's pretty good. Of course. Ooh. The clip comes out, you can see the bullet top, and you have a total of 4 clips between these 2 pistols. Here's Red Hood holding onto those pistols. And then here, holstering those pistols. And here's a look at the Red Hood holding onto that rifle. Red Hood can actually achieve a pretty good sniping pose, laying on his stomach on a rooftop. And then we have these blast effects. They're cast in semi-transparent plastic. We have 2 small ones for the pistols and a larger one for the rifle. They've got a little peg in the back to attach to the gun, and just one thing to enhance your figure. Here's Red Hood firing that rifle, and then here, firing those pistols. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 6.4, maybe 6.5 inches tall, which can translate to just over 16 centimeters. And for his articulation, which is quite restrictive from the jacket, at least in some ways. So, starting with his head. Of course, you can rotate side to side. He can look up a pretty good amount, down pretty good as well. He can tilt his head from one side to the other. He does have articulation both at the top and bottom of the neck. Shoulders, ball joint goes up way more than 90 degrees. It's no obstruction there, but it's where you're going up. That's where it has a problem. It really can't go up any higher than this. He's got bicep cut, and don't really feel very much forward and back motion, a tiniest bit. Looks like double jointed elbows, going about this far, a little bit restricted from the cloth. His wrists can rotate, and it's hinged. In his torso, he's got this sort of soft goods armor. It can rotate at the top. He has a little ab crunch rotate, forward and back. Another one in the waist. Rotate around, forward and back. That's where you get most of the movement to the waist. Legs, they go out about that far, obstructed from the cloth. There is rotation here. Then go forward, about that much. Back, not at all. Double jointed knees, once again, a little bit obstructed from the bunched up cloth. And the ankles, forward and back a little bit, rotate, tilt rock also a little bit. Here's a look at Red Hood in the streets of Gotham, pointing his guns right at you. And here he is, sniping from a rooftop. And here, firing his rocket launcher right off that same rooftop. Here's a look at Mezco's modern Bat family. Batman, Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Catwoman. I hope they continue to expand on the members, and I'm looking forward to the blue version of Nightwing. Now let's check them out. Next is some of their action figures, starting off with some of their Red Hood figures. And the most comparable Red Hood compared to is going to be the Toys Remake 1/12 scale third-party unlicensed Red Hood. This figure is absolutely fantastic. I love that figure. I think he's great, but I will say the Mezco one is better. The clothes are not as baggy on the legs and the jacket. These are just a little more form-fitting, although I do prefer the height of the Toys Remake version. It's, I don't know, maybe 0.2 inches taller. Looks like Mezco showed him up. My only real complaint about the Mezco one is going to be the range of motion in the elbows and the shoulders, and it's kind of just the way it is. And here he is, with all my McFarlane Red Hood figures. Then, with all of my DC Direct and DC Collectibles Jason Todd figures. And now, next to the Extreme Toys third-party Red Hood. Next, with the Mattel Red Hood figures. Here he is, next to Mayfex, Jason Todd as Hush, and here with the amazing Yamaguchi Red Hood. Then, with a custom Red Hood figure my wife made for me, way before anyone made Red Hood figures like this. It's based off a Marvel Legends body. Here's his Red Hood, next to a couple of custom Jason Todd and civilian attire figures, both 6-inch and 7-inch scale. In the video game Batman Arkham Knight, the Arkham Knight turns out to be Jason Todd. Here he is, next to a bunch of Arkham Knight figures from McFarlane, Extreme Toys, Amazing Yamaguchi, and DC Direct. In my action figure world, I use the Arkham Knight as a completely different character, just like in the DC comic universe. Jason Todd took the identity of Red Hood to sort of mock the Joker. The Joker was Red Hood for one night, that one bad night, then he fell into the vat of chemicals and became the Joker. Here he is, next to several different Red Hood figures by DC Direct and McFarlane. Here's this Mezco Red Hood figure, next to a bunch of DC Direct Red Hood gang members. Here is Mezco's modern Bat family: Robin, Batman, Red Hood, Nightwing, and Catwoman. Like I said before, I hope they expand on it. And here, with several Mezco Batman figures based off the comics. Then, with several different Mezco Batman figures based off the movies. Here's Red Hood, next to several different Mezco Batman rogues. Here's Red Hood, next to the recent LPZZ and In-Art Batman figures. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a Mezco figure, they are typically the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines I collect, and then work my way larger. But first, let's check him out with some of his Mezco brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figures, all from Mezco Toys, all 1/12 scale. And now, with some Jazz Wars Fortnite figures, and some SH Figure Arts action figures. Here he is, next to a can of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And here he is, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends and Mafex figures. Then, with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Mattel and NECA figures. Next, with some DC Direct and McFarlane toys. And finally, with some Diamond Select toys and Jack-specific wrestling figures. So overall, this is an absolutely fantastic Red Hood figure. This is probably the best Red Hood figure I have in my entire collection, and as you can see, I have a lot of Red Hood figures. I thought the Toys remake Red Hood was my favorite, and I guess he was at the time, but this one has shown that one up. And this one isn't perfect. There's still some improvements that could be made. My main complaints would be the limited mobility in his shoulders and his elbows. And then I wish he came with an unmasked head and a rocket launcher. But this guy looks damn near perfect. He moves pretty nicely. His accessories are great. It's just everything I would ever want for a Mezco Red Hood figure. Accessories, they're good, although I think he could have had a little more. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. Cloth soft goods is great. Articulation is pretty good. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This guy is excellent. Mezco nailed it. A home run. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.